Kumusta po kayo? Welcome back to my channel, the channel that is dedicated in guiding you in your journey in learning a beautiful language, Tagalog, the language of the Philippines. This video is the continuation of our discussion on that extra Tagalog pronoun, Kitá, that is hard to place and not part of the three Tagalog pronoun groups. As a reminder, Kitá is only used in the second person singular. That is, a speaker talking to one person and referring to that person only. Linguists refer to Kitá as the pronoun that equates to you by me, to you from me to you, and you can add you are mine into the list. Kitá has the elements of I, me, my, and you into one pronoun. There are four instances when to use Kitá. These are when expressing relationship with a second person, when expressing an action towards a second person, when expressing an emotional action towards a second person, and when expressing togetherness with a second person. In the last video, I have talked about using Kitá when expressing an action towards a second person. We have learned of a very simple sentence pattern. That is the verb plus Kitá pattern. For example, kinakausap kita. I am talking to you. Kinausap kita. I talk to you. Kakausapin kita. I will talk to you. Simple lang, di ba? If you have missed that video, you can check it out. The link is in the description box down below. In this video, we are going to be talking about how to use Kitá when expressing an emotional action towards a second person. Wait a minute. I thought we already talked about how to use Kitá when expressing an action towards a second person in the last video. What's the difference between that action and an emotional action? Well, there is a slight difference. Please hear me out. Both of these sentences have the same sentence pattern. For action, it's verb plus Kitá. For emotional action, it is verb plus Kitá. But there is a slight difference. Let me cite this example. To say I love you in Tagalog is Mahal kita. In English, to love is a verb, an action word. But Mahal is also a root word that means love. And as a root word, it is the building block to create new words. For example, pagmamahal, the actual verb to love. Minamahal, the act of loving. Kamahalan, majesty, like your majesty, and more. In the phrase mahal kita, the word mahal is functioning like a verb, an action word. So, the word mahal is taking on two personalities here. A root word and a verb. Kuha nyo? But wait, there's more. Mahal is also a noun. It is the Tagalog equivalent of honey or sweetheart. Like when a husband comes home, he will say, Mahal, narito na ako. Directly translated as, Honey, I'm here now. Which is how we say, Honey, I'm home. So, that's personality number 3. Ayos ba? But wait, there's one more. Mahal is also an adjective. It also means dear. Like when you write someone in Tagalog, the salutation would be Mahal kong Peter, Dear Peter, or Mahal kong Marie, Dear Marie. So, Mahal has 4 personalities here. A root word, a verb, a noun, and an adjective. And there are a few more words in the same boat as Mahal. And what's common about them is that all of them are emotional words. Let's take a look at these emotional action words. We already know of Mahal kita, I love you. There is gusto kita, I like you. And kailangan kita, I need you. And because Tagalog is a flexible language, let me show you two other ways of how to say these phrases. Ikaw ay mahal ko. Ikaw ay gusto ko. Ikaw ay kailangan ko. Or, mahal ko ikaw. Gusto ko ikaw. Kailangan ko ikaw. I have talked about this in episode 31 when I was talking about group 2 personal pronouns. You might want to check it out. The link is in the description box below. But which version should you use? This one is the most formal and the most awkward version. It's more of a statement of fact and not an emotional statement. This one is okay. This would be somewhere in the middle of the emotional scale. But this one is supreme. This is the more natural and more fluid grammatically. It would score high in the emotional scale. And why is that? It is because kita is the fusion of you and I. With just a 4-letter Tagalog pronoun, kita has captured the essence that binds the speaker, I, and the listener, you. But where does this fusion of I and you come from? And why is kita an outlier and not part of the 3 main Tagalog pronoun groups? This is what I think. I think it is because kita is a remnant of Old Tagalog, the language spoken way before the arrival of the Spanish in the 16th century. Researchers have determined that Old Tagalog was closely related to Old Malay. If you take a look at modern Malay languages, such as Malaysian and Indonesian, kita is the equivalent of the Tagalog pronoun tayo, or the English we that includes the listener. Old Tagalog has branched out and developed into a more complex language. Today, Tagalog is not mutually intelligible with Indonesian and Malaysian. It's not like an Italian speaker talking to a Spanish speaker in their own languages and they will understand each other. A Malaysian talking in Malay will not be understood by a Filipino listening, and vice versa. And speaking of modern Malay, in Malaysian and Indonesian, the phrase mahal kita means we are expensive, or you and I are expensive. Which brings me to the second meaning of mahal. In Tagalog, mahal also means expensive, precious, valuable. Interesting, isn't it? If you think about it, mahal in Tagalog is such a beautiful word. Don't you agree? Well, that's about it for today. I hope you find this video interesting and informative. If you did, please hit the like button. That will do a lot of great things for this channel. And if you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so you'll be notified of new contents coming out regularly. And with that, I will see you again soon. Maraming salamat po at hanggang sa susunod.